In this tutorial, we create a page using a template using DynamicPDF Cloud API's DynamicPDF Designer. We're going to start with a PDF form that contains several form fields to be completed. Now this is a printed form, but we're going to turn it into a dynamic form using Designer. And this is what the finished product will look like. As you can see, we have a completed form with all the form fields filled out. The DynamicPDF Cloud API is a set of REST endpoints for creating and modifying PDF documents. You can also use it to get metadata about those documents. It's easy to use, it's efficient and scalable, globally available, and secure. Key features include an online document report designer, merging, stamping, and adding barcodes to PDFs, form filling PDFs and retrieving form field information, converting images to PDF, encrypting and securing PDFs, retrieving text, XMP, and other information. We also have an online tool called Designer that makes creating PDF documents from a report template easy and straightforward. And you can call our REST APIs directly using your own client API or a tool like curl, or you can select one of our client APIs that make calling the REST endpoint easier. We have one in C#, Java, Node.js, and PHP. Get up and running quickly using the DynamicPDF Cloud API. Our online designer, the REST APIs, and client libraries make it easy to add PDF capabilities to your applications. The DynamicPDF Cloud API consists of the following endpoints: DLEX layout, image info, PDF info, PDF text, PDF XMP, and PDF. Let's go ahead and go to the tutorial. Select Docs, Tutorials, Designer, create a page using a template. In this tutorial, we're going to examine adding a PDF template to a report to fill out a form. Using a template is a powerful technique you can use to format a report using DynamicPDF Designer. Select required resources. Before beginning this tutorial, you must add the Creating a Page Using Template Designer samples folder to your cloud storage space using the Resource Manager. Let's go ahead and do that. And to do that, we need to start by logging in. So go ahead and log in. And if you don't have an account, you can create an account here. However, we assume you already have an account, so log in. And this takes us to the Environment Manager. Select Manage Resources to open the Resource Manager. Select Samples. Click Add Samples. And this opens the Samples dialog. Go ahead and check Create a Page using a template. And this adds the sample folder and its resources to your cloud storage space in DynamicPDF Cloud API. Before we do anything else, let's go ahead and double click on the DLEX file. And this opens the completed DLEX file. And as you can see, we have a template, and in the template, we have several fields for putting in dates, names, consenting acts. And if we scroll down, we can also see that we have space for signatures and 2 more for dates. And the signatures is going to be a really cool feature that you're going to see in just a minute. Now let's run it. And there's the completed form. Close it. Return to the Resource Manager. So we're going to want to delete the DLEX file because we're doing this from scratch, but I'm going to save it just in case. Now I'm going to delete it. So right click, delete, and that deletes the DLEX file. Now right click anywhere in that pane and select New DLEX. Now add the name Consent Form. Create. And that creates the blank DLEX. Open it, and it opens the project in Designer. Okay, before we do anything, let's go ahead and go over here to the Layout Data Resource Manager. Open it. And because in the Resource Manager, the layout data has the same name as our DLEX file, Designer is smart enough to know to load that DLEX JSON data. So here's our data. And you can see the 2 interesting things here is our consentee signature and our releasee signature. Both of those are base64 encoded strings that represent the images. Okay, let's go ahead and close the layout data editor. Notice our JSON fields over here in the Data Explorer. Let's start creating our document. Select Add Page to create a new page. Now with page selected, we need to add the template. So go over here to the Properties Explorer and you'll see PDF Template. And click on those three dots next to Template Path to open the File Explorer. Select ConsentForm.pdf, and that adds the PDF form to our page. However, notice over here on the right we have the template page number, and it is 1. So we only added the first page to our template. Create Add Page again to add a second page. Only this time, go over to Template and give it the number 2. So change the number to 2 and go ahead and add the template. So get it from the File Explorer. And this time it adds the second page of the PDF form to our second page in our project. Change the zoom level to 50% so we can see both pages. And there you go. So we have 2 pages. And on page 1, we have page 1 of our template, our PDF template. And on page 2, we have the second page of our PDF template. And scroll back up to the first page. And the first thing we need to do is add the date. However, you can see we have day, month, and year as our fields in our JSON data. So we're going to use a record area for this. So add a new record area. And go over to text, and for the text put pound, month, pound, /, pound, day, pound, and that gives us the month and the day. Let's go ahead and run it just to see how it looks. Close it. Let's move it over and center it just to make it look a little better. Now we need to add the year. However, the year is 4 digits. We only need the 2 digits. So we need another record area. So add a new record area. And in the text, we're going to use a function. Pound, right, and then we're going to put the name of the field, which is year, comma, and how many characters from that field that we want, which is 2. So this is telling us to take the first 2 characters from the right of the string. Okay, let's position it a little better. Now let's run it. And there you go. We have 21 in there. It's not formatted very well, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and move it just a little bit, just to format it a little better. And now it looks a little better. Close it. Now let's add the consenter field. Drag and drop it. Resize it a little bit. Oh, let's move month and day over a little bit. Same with date. Let's move them down just a little bit. And let's add the consenting acts. Resize it. Let's run it just to see how it's looking. Okay, it looks pretty good so far. Close it. Now let's add the releasee. Run it. Let's run it again just to see how it looks. Okay, it has everything added. Now scroll down to the second page. Let's add the state and the 2 printed names as record boxes. So state and consenter. Releasee. And this time it wants the actual date. So we're going to have to add the actual date. So add a record area, and for the text value, pound, month, / pound, day, pound, / pound, year. Repeat this for the second date. Now let's run it. Scroll down. There you go. We have our dates added. And now we need to add images for our signatures. And select Add Image and move the image over to Consenter's signature. Resize it. Now, instead of trying to select an image, we're going to go ahead and change the data name over here to the data name in our Data Explorer. So in this case, it's Consentee Signature. And now let's go ahead and run it. Scroll down. You can see the signature. It's a little small, not very well formatted. Let's format it a little better. And let's resize it and run it again. And that looks a little better. Now let's add the second signature. So the releasee signature, add image, and then in the data name, type releasee signature to add that field. Resize it. Run it. And it generates our completed PDF form. We have our month and our day, our year, the consentee, his name, the consenting acts, the releasee. And then on the second page, we have the state, we have signatures and the dates. So we've completed our form with the field values. So as you can see, using DynamicPDF Designer to create a form is straightforward and easy when using DynamicPDF Designer. I'm James, Developer Evangelist at DynamicPDF, reminding you, when you think PDF, think DynamicPDF Cloud API. See you next time.